Let's take some time to settle the body. In this class, we're going to do it a little bit differently than we have in other classes. So we're going to actually begin with, after we chant Om to begin the class, we're going to do some pranayam to begin the class today, and then we will do a brief meditation. We'll move on to asana, the stretching practices, and then we'll do a Yoga Nidra at the end to conclude the class. So sitting in a comfortable position, making sure that the spine is straight and that the head and neck are in alignment with the spine, and that the shoulders are back and down, but they're relaxed. And put your hands on your knees in a mudra of your choice. And closing the eyes. And take a long, deep inhalation now, long, big yogic breath in. And as you exhale, release all the events of the day. And again, another long, deep inhalation. And this time, as you exhale, release all the interactions and conversations that you've had today in whatever mode they've taken, whether they've been in person, on the phone, online, just let them all go. And again, another long, deep inhalation. And this time, when you exhale, release any thoughts or feelings of obligation of anything you have to do after this class, and give yourself this gift of being present throughout the class. Be right here, right now. And now let's take some time to check in with the body, gently moving the awareness up through the feet and up through the body. And as you do this, pay close attention to how you're feeling at this moment. Check for any pain or aches, just so that when we are doing the class, that you observe these and listen to your body, and make sure that you, if you can't do the practice, you can do a different practice, or you could even just visualize the practice as well. So just making sure that you are working within your range of movement. This class shouldn't hurt in any way. It should actually be the opposite. So moving the awareness right up through the body, and gently, in your own time, when you reach it, bring the awareness to the eyebrow center. And at this point, visualize a steady candle flame. And together now, we'll chant Om 3 times, and Om Shanti, and I will chant the Shanti mantra, which pays respect to the traditions that support and guide us. And it also pays respect between teacher and student and teacher. And it also says in this mantra, it asks for our practices to be protected. So we'll begin now with the chanting of 3 Oms. Breathing. Om. 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 Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinadvadhitamastu Ma Ved Vishabhahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. And now maintain the same position with the eyes closed. And bring the awareness to the natural breath. And observe the natural breath as it, with the inhalation, expands the abdomen and then the chest. And then on the exhalation, the chest subsides and the abdomen subsides. Not changing your breathing in any way, just observing the natural breath. And we'll now practice the pranayama of Ujjayi. So for this practice, you constrict the throat just a little bit. So it sounds like a baby snoring, or so the sound of the ocean, it's sometimes called. And you feel the breath going down through the throat on the inhalation and then back as well on the exhalation. Just breathing through the nose. There's a mudra you can do for that, Kachari mudra, where it's actually with the tongue. And so you can place the tongue behind, it's like you curl the tongue to the roof of the mouth. So that's one thing you can do. You don't have to do that, but that's one way of doing it. So I'll demonstrate so you can hear the sound. It's very soft though, so you may not hear it. So it almost sounds like you're in a deep sleep. So continue breathing in this way. And it should be a gentle breath, just using the natural breath in that way. And while you're completing this practice, become aware of the movement of the breath as it moves from the throat to the navel, and then from the navel to the throat. And now, keeping these two practices, visualize the breath from the navel to the throat and the throat to the navel as a golden pathway. Following the breath from the navel pathway, the golden pathway, from the navel to the throat on the inhalation, and the throat to the navel on the exhalation. And we'll now add a mantra to this practice as well. The mantra is so on the inhalation and hum on the exhalation. So keeping the Ujjayi breath, as you breathe in, following the breath and the golden pathway. Mentally repeat the mantra so as you inhale and hum as you exhale. And so hum means I am this consciousness. Now, release the mantra. Release the golden pathway. Release the breath awareness. And return to the natural breath. And observe the stillness. Complete stillness. And the subtlety of the natural breath. Now gently allow the breath to deepen. And notice how it creates movement in the body. And allow yourself to gently externalize, but not too much. We will begin asana practice in just a few moments. So when you're ready, bring the legs out in front of the body. Moving very gently and mindfully, and then bringing the hands behind the buttocks with the fingers pointing away, keeping the eyes closed. And again, just observing how you're feeling at this moment. Move the awareness now down to the ankles. Our first practice will be ankle rotation. So moving the ankles in a clockwise direction, moving the feet by the ankles, not moving the legs in any way. Rotate the feet in a clockwise direction, inhaling on the upward movement, exhaling on the downward movement. Complete 5 rounds in each direction. And observing the movement of energy in the ankle region. And when you finish the practice, come back to the base position. Our next practice will also be on the lower leg or on the leg, and we're going to do 2 practices, one after the other, on the right side and then on the left. So beginning with the right, making sure you're sitting up straight, clasp the hands underneath the knee and just raise the leg up. And this is, you're just moving the lower leg in a clockwise direction first. Inhaling on the upward movement, exhaling on the downward movement, completing 5 rounds in each direction. And then after your 5th round, on your final round in the other direction, so bringing the sole of the foot to the floor. And then we'll move into a hip rotation. So bringing the sole of the right foot to the inside of the left leg or to the top of the left thigh, clasping the hand on the knee and the right hand on the knee, the left hand on the foot. And then you'll guide the knee around, firstly in a clockwise direction, 5 rounds, again inhaling on the upward movement, exhaling on the downward movement, and observing the opening of the hip. And then when you've completed both rounds, make sure you bring the sole of the foot to the floor again, and then gently put the leg along the floor. Take a few moments in between the right and the left side. Just observe the differences. And then we'll begin the same practices on the left side of the body. So bringing the knee to the chest, clasping the hands underneath the left knee, and then rotating the bottom half of the left leg in a clockwise direction first. 5 rounds in each direction. Really observing what's happening in the knee joint as you do this. And then moving into hip rotation, bringing the left sole to the inside of the right thigh or up on the top of the right thigh, left hand on the left knee, right hand on the left foot, guiding the knee around. Big circles, 5 rounds in each direction, and then at the end being sure that you're putting the foot flat on the floor to protect the knee. And taking your own time. And when you've completed the practice, we'll continue with the lower leg or the lower body. So for this, we'll complete Tatali Asana, the butterfly posture. So bringing the knees up to the chest, bringing the soles of the feet together, clasping the hands around the feet. Ensure you're sitting up straight. And then inhale, bring the knees up towards the arms. Exhale, allow the knees to fall towards the floor. Slight pressure is okay. Don't push too hard though. Shouldn't be hurting or straining. Inhaling back, knees up again. And so complete 10 rounds of this practice. And at the end, bringing the knees together, sliding them along the floor. I'm just observing how the hip opens a little bit further with each round of the practice. And when you finish, come back to the base position again and just observe. We'll move now to the upper body and wrist rotation. So bringing the arms out in front of the body, placing the thumbs on the palms and wrapping the fingers around the thumbs. Inhale, bring the fists up and around. So it's moving the fists from the wrists. This is 1 round. Complete 5 rounds in each direction. Really observing the movement of the muscles, particularly of the forearms. This practice. This is a really good one if you're at the computer or driving or carrying things for a long time. It can really help to ease any tension there. Next practice, again, with ensuring the spine is straight, head and neck are in alignment, shoulders are back and down. Bring the palms together in prayer position. in front of the chest. Inhale with the palms together. Bring them up above the head, stretching right up. You may like to tilt the head up just a little bit. Exhale and bringing the palms together. Front of the body again. This is one round. Complete another 4 rounds in this way. Inhaling as you bring the palms up, stretching right up through the torso, and then exhaling as you bring the palms together down. And again, when you finish, just observing. And we'll move now into shoulder rotation. So bringing, again, sitting up straight, right hand on the right shoulder, left hand on the left shoulder, elbows together in front of the body. Inhale, bringing the elbows up, back, as exhaling on the downward movement, really feeling that stretch in the shoulders, bringing the elbows together in front of the body again. This is 1 round. Complete 5 rounds in each direction. Another great one for when you're sitting at a desk for too long or driving for too long. It can really help to break tension in the shoulders and the neck. And take a few moments to rest. Now, our next practice will involve the neck. So going into this, please be very gentle and ensure that you're only moving within your range of movement. The first few rounds, just really use it to explore what your range of movement is. Don't push, it shouldn't hurt in any way. So beginning, exhale, bring the chin to the chest, feeling that stretch at the back of the neck, then bringing the right ear over to the right shoulder. Don't move your shoulders up in any way, just keep them still. And then exhale as you're bringing the head back behind the body, bringing the left ear to the left shoulder. Inhale and back to the center again. Complete another 4 rounds or up to 4 rounds in each direction. Moving very gently, aiming for very smooth movements. No sort of uneven or jerky movements because the neck is very delicate. And observing the loosening of the muscles on each side of the neck. And when you've completed the practice, keeping the eyes closed and the head and neck in alignment again, just take a few moments now just to reflect on how you feel now compared to how you felt at the beginning of the class. And now the next practice is a spinal twist. So, but we're doing it sitting on the floor. So for this one, bring the legs as wide apart as is comfortable, again, without straining. And again, sitting up straight, bringing the arms out to shoulder height, making sure you have enough room. I just have to make sure I have enough room. And what you're doing is you are bringing trying to keep them straight up. So you're bringing first the left arm over to the right foot. So it depends on where you're at and your flexibility. So if you can touch the right foot, amazing, keeping the arm straight at the back. If not, if you can touch the knee, or even if you just keep the arm raised above the foot is perfectly fine. Come back to center, and then the other way, right hand to right foot or just above. Again, aiming for smooth movements. Complete 5 rounds in each way, on each leg. And after your 5th round, come back to the base position. It's quite a strong practice, that one, particularly if you're not used to it. So just allow the body to rest for a few moments. Our next practice will be Majari Asana, cat posture. So come on to the hands and the knees. And ensure that the hands are directly below the shoulders and the knees are directly below the hips. Put the head in a neutral position, just in line with the floor. So you should be forming a box-like shape. Inhale, bring the head up towards the ceiling and arch the abdomen towards the floor, stretching through the arms. Exhale, bring the head in between the arms, arching the spine up towards the ceiling. This is 1 round. Complete another 4 rounds. Trying to coordinate the breath with the movement, really aiming for that body, breath, mind connection. Observing the movement of energy that goes through the spine, through the arms, through the neck, through the abdomen. And after your final round, come back into Shashankasana, the child's pose, bringing the buttocks back towards the heels, allowing the forehead to go onto the floor with the arms out, either in front of the body or beside the body. If you experience any lower blood pressure, please make fists with your hands and rest your head on your fist, just so that your head isn't lower than your heart. And take a big breath in and exhale and allow the body to release and relax into the floor. And then when it's right for you, come to the head to foot pose. So for this, it means that the top half of the body is hanging over the bottom half of the body. And so for this, you can let the arms hang loose, or you could hold each elbow behind the knees and just allow the body to hang. Feeling the stretch up the back of the legs. Knees are soft. And then when you're ready, roll very gently up to a standing position. And standing, ensuring the weight is evenly distributed between the right and the left feet, arms are hanging loose. Again, spine straight, head and neck are in alignment. And just feel comfortable and steady on your feet. The next practice is from the Trikonasana series. So we don't do this one very often, but we will today. So for this one, bring the legs as wide apart as is comfortable for you. Point the right foot out, and the left foot should be either straight ahead or turned just a tiny bit in. Bringing the right elbow, so bending the right knee, bringing the right elbow, resting it on the knee, and then raising the left arm up with the palm facing forward. And then if you're right with that, you can gaze up at that left hand, or you can just look ahead. If you want to take it a little bit further, you could actually bring the right hand down to the inside of the ankle. But if that's not where you are at this point in time, that's perfectly fine, just to keep resting it. Now, to come out of the practice, bring the right hand up, level, turn the right foot front or a little bit in, and the left foot turn it out, and then do the same on the left side. So bending the left elbow onto the left knee, keeping the knee a little bit bent, bringing the right hand up straight, gazing up if that's right for you, or straight ahead if not. And then to take it further, again, left hand on the inside of the left foot. Hold for as is comfortable, and then when you're ready, complete another round on each side. When you've completed the practice in your own time, of course, just come back to a standing Shavasana, close the eyes, just observe the effects of the practice. Our next practice will be another spinal twist, so Kati Chakrasana. So for this one, place the right hand on the left shoulder and wrap the left arm around behind the waist and gaze over that left shoulder, feeling the stretch and the twist in the spine and the stretch in the neck. And then exhale, bring the arms out at shoulder height, and then bringing the left hand to the right shoulder, wrapping the right arm behind the waist, gazing over the right shoulder, again feeling that twist and stretch. Complete another 4 rounds. You might like to do it a bit more dynamically if that's right for you, or you can always do it slowly to really feel into the posture. And after your final round, come back to a standing Shavasana and closing the eyes, finding that stillness within from doing a dynamic practice. Just come back to your center. And our final asana will be a balancing posture. So it's Ika Pada Padmasana. I always say it wrong every class. For this one, it's the one-legged prayer pose. So for this, find a point on the wall that you can fix your gaze on that isn't moving clearly. And we'll begin with the right leg. So bring the sole of the right foot inside to the inside of the left leg. So if you're just starting this practice, you can just rest the toes on the floor and put the heel on the inside of the left ankle. And then bring the hands in prayer position. If you're a bit more advanced, you can move the sole of the right foot up the left leg. The main thing is not to rest it on the inside of the knee, but you can bring it up as high as is comfortable for you. When you've found your point and you're steady, hands in prayer position. If you want to go further than that, bring the palms up above the body and hold for your own duration. When you come out of the practice, make sure you turn the leg in and then complete on the left side. And please complete 3 rounds in total on each side. Again, trying to hold a bit longer than you did with each one before, but again, it's all just practice. And some days are better than others. You might find some days you can hold it forever, and then other days it can be tough if you're a little bit tired. I find it's hard to focus and be steady. So just do your best, the best that you can do today. And when you've completed the practice on both sides, please lie down in Shavasana to prepare for Yoga Nidra. So making sure that you are comfortable and that you are warm. So wherever you're watching this in the world, where I am, it's getting cooler. And so you'll find with Yoga Nidra, your body will drop in temperature as you become more relaxed. So just make sure that you've got the right coverings so that you are comfortable. And remove any sort of tight clothing or glasses or anything of that nature. So lying down on the back with the legs about hip width apart and relax. So release any tension and allow them to relax into the floor. Place the arms a little bit away from the body with the palms facing the sky. And ensure that there's balance between the right side of the body and the left side of the body. And again, ensure that head and neck are aligned. It's really important. So to do this, you may like to just tuck your chin in just a little, just to make sure. And take a long, deep yogic breath in. And as you exhale, release your whole body into the floor. Take another long, deep yogic breath in, and this time, allow the body to melt into the floor. Feel like you're unsure where your body begins and the floor begins. You're almost as one existing thing. And again, take another long, deep inhalation. And this time when you exhale, be sure to release any expressions you may be holding on the face. So ensure you're not clenching your jaw or you're not tensing any muscles in your face, even behind the eyes. Just let all expression go. And observe the feeling of the body against the floor. So firstly, bring your awareness to the back of the legs and the floor, including the heels. Feel the back of the legs from the heels right up to the buttocks. Feel them against the floor. And feel the back against the floor, the spine. Feel the back of the hands and the arms against the floor. Feel the back of the neck and the back of the head against the floor. And just observe how all of these different points of contact, they just make one complete singular point of contact between the body and the floor. Become aware now of sound. So listen for sounds way off in the distance. But don't try and identify or name the sounds in any way. Just move your awareness from sound to sound. So hear a sound, let it wash over you, and then move your awareness to the next sound. And now bring this sound awareness to sounds just outside the room that you're in. And once again, just moving the awareness from sound to sound. Bring the awareness now to sounds inside the room that you're in. Bring the awareness to sounds inside the body. We'll begin with the sound and the sensation of the heartbeat. Listening to the sound and feeling the sensation of the heartbeat. And now move the awareness to the sound and the sensation of the natural breath. Release the sound awareness now and call to mind your Sankalpa or positive intention if you have one. Mentally repeat it 3 times now. And if you don't have one, leave some space for it may emerge on its own. We'll now move the awareness around the body, rotating it from body part to body part, according to my instructions. So when I repeat the name of a body part, place your awareness there, mentally repeat the name of that part, and visualize that body part. You don't need to move it in any way, just do those 3 things. And we'll begin with the right side of the body and the right hand thumb. First finger, second, third, and little finger. Palm of the right hand, back of the right hand, wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, armpit, right side of the chest, right waist, hip, thigh, knee, shin, calf, heel, ankle, sole of the right foot, top of the right foot, right big toe, second toe, third, fourth, and little toe. We'll move now to the left side of the body with the left hand thumb, first finger, second, third, and little finger, palm of the left hand, back of the left hand, wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, armpit, left side of the chest, left waist, hip, thigh, knee, shin, calf, heel, ankle, sole of the left foot, top of the left foot, left big toe, second toe, third, fourth, and little toe. And now we'll move to the back of the body, beginning with the heels, back of the legs, the buttocks, the small of the back, the middle of the back, the shoulder blades, the space between the shoulder blades, the back of the neck, the entire spinal column, the back of the head, and the crown of the head. Moving around now to the face, with the forehead, the eyebrows, the eyebrow center, the ears, the temples, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the lips, the jaw, the chin, the throat, the collarbones, and the pit of the throat. The right side of the chest, the left side of the chest, the center of the chest, the right side of the abdomen, the left side of the abdomen, and the navel, the right side of the pelvis, the left side of the pelvis, and the groin, the whole right leg, the whole left leg, both legs together, the whole right arm, the whole left arm, both arms together, the whole torso, the whole back, the whole neck, the whole head, the whole front of the body, the whole back of the body, and now the whole body. Have a sense all at once, the whole body. Bring the awareness now back to the natural breath and observe how the natural breath has become very, very subtle. But even in its subtlety, observe how the abdomen rises and falls in response to the natural breath. And we'll now add a visualization to the natural breath. On the inhalation, again, visualize the golden pathway, golden light on the inhalation. And on the exhalation, you are releasing anything that does not serve you. That might be tiredness, it might be stress, it might be feeling that something is a problem. Just let it all go on the exhalation. Inhaling golden healing light and exhaling anything that does not serve you, just along with the natural breath. And if the mind begins to wander, you can use the breath just like an anchor to bring your awareness back to the practice. And release the breath visualization now. And instead, feel the following opposite sensations in the body. The body's feeling heavier and heavier. The body feels so heavy that it feels like it's falling through the floor. Feels like it's made out of concrete or stone because it feels so heavy. The arms and the legs feel heavier, and the torso and the head feel heavier. The body's feeling heavier and heavier, like it's made out of concrete and it's falling through the floor. Release this feeling of heaviness now and replace it instead with a feeling of lightness. The body's feeling lighter and lighter. The body feels so light that it feels like it's almost going to float away and that it's barely touching the floor. The arms and the legs feel lighter, and the torso and the head feel lighter. The body's feeling lighter and lighter, like it's barely touching the floor and might float away at any moment. Release this feeling of lightness now. And instead, replace it with a feeling of coldness. The body's feeling colder and colder. The body feels like it's outside on an icy winter's day, and the wind just whips through and chills you to the bone. The face feels colder and numb. The hands and toes feel numb. The body's feeling colder and colder, like you're outside on an icy winter's day. Release this feeling of coldness now, and instead exchange it for a feeling of heat. The body's feeling hotter and hotter. The body feels like it's outside on a really hot summer's day, and you're standing outside without any shade. The face feels hotter. Heat radiates from the abdomen throughout the body, and the hands and the feet feel sweaty and clammy because they're so hot. The body's feeling hotter and hotter, like you're standing outside on a really hot summer's day without any shade. Release this feeling of heat now. Release all of these sensations completely and allow the body to come back to a state of equilibrium. And instead now, come to the space of the mind, the space behind the closed eyes. And in this space, see, imagine, visualize and create following objects and images. You're lying down in a field on the soft grass beneath you. It's a warm summer's evening and you're on your own, but you feel safe and secure. It's nighttime now, and as you open your eyes or you're lying on the grass, you see beautiful starry sky above you. There are so many stars that you can see, and they're so bright that it feels like you're almost being engulfed by this starry, starry sky. You can see pretty well because it is a full moon and it lights up the sky and the field around you. And just as you're lying there, feeling just in awe of this beautiful scene and just how much of the universe that you can see from this point. You see the shooting star just fly across the sky, and on this star you make a wish. It's something that you have wanted for a long time, and you feel grateful that this has actually happened. And while you gaze at the moon, you decide to close your eyes, and you're amazed that you can still see the moon at your eyebrow center. And so you gaze at the moon, even though your eyes are closed, and you feel connected to nature and the world around you. And you feel like you almost have the universe inside of you. And it's time now to come back to your mat in the room that you are in. Release the moon and instead call to mind your Sankalpa, a positive intention if you have one. Mentally repeat it 3 times now. Begin to feel your breath in your body. Allow the breath to deepen just a little. And as you do, observe how the breath moves the back against the floor. And begin to feel how you are in your body right now, how you're feeling at this very moment. The practice of Yoga Nidra is coming to an end. Begin to think about and remember the room that you're in and the details of that room. Remember the color of your mat, color of your coverings, color of the floor and the walls. And remember the time of day. Begin to hear the sounds around you and remember the world attached to those sounds. Begin to make small movements with the fingers and the toes, being very kind to yourself to allow yourself to gently externalize and begin to move and stretch in a way that's right for you. You may like to gently move your head from side to side. And when you're ready, you may also like to roll onto your right side for a few moments. Taking your time, there's no rush. And when it's right for you, gently come up into a comfortable sitting position, keeping the eyes closed or downcast, trying to move slowly and consciously to maintain the peace that you've created. And allowing the body to remain steady. Gently moving the awareness through the body once more, beginning with the soles of the feet. And as you do, just compare how you feel now to how you felt at the beginning of the class. Moving the awareness up through the legs, right up through the hands, up through the arms and to the shoulders. Bringing the awareness up through the torso and up through the spine. Gently into the neck and to the face, top of their head. And then very gently bringing the awareness to the eyebrow center. And at this point, visualize a steady candle flame. And together now, we'll chant Om 3 times and Om Shanti to conclude the practice. Breathing in. Om. 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 Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om. Hari Om Tat Sat.